And now, introducing Casey Carter.
Day, hump day, and it's time for Casey at Night. I am your goddess, Casey Carter. Yeah, man. That's that's what I'm here for, people. This is what I'm here for. So I hope you had a great week. Hope you had a great weekend. I went to Savannah with my sister. It was my first time in Savannah, and it was interesting. Hey, Lorenzo. Um, so, so as you know, I live in the Atlanta area. I don't live in Atlanta proper, but I live in the Atlanta area. Savannah is approximately a 3 hour ride from where I'm located. So, you know, sister flew down from New York. I drove over from where I live. And so I didn't realize Savannah was as touristy as it is. Let's just get right to it. We stayed on the outskirts of Savannah, and I was thinking, oh, we should have got a hotel downtown. We could walk around. Wouldn't have to Uber. Like I could park the car and never look at it again until it's time to leave. And because the outskirts let's just say the outskirts of Savannah is like the outskirts of Atlanta. You got to go through some shit to get to, the bright, shiny stuff. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. If you live down in the Atlanta area, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, we ride into Savannah, downtown Savannah on Saturday to have brunch, and we get out the Uber. I'm like, damn, all these people, like like you had to press your shoulders together in order to not bang into somebody on the street. I mean, it's just people and strollers and bicycles and young couples and old couples, and just I was like, no. Lunch was good though. Brunch was very good. Yeah, brunch was good. But downtown Savannah, it was just way too touristy. That's all I'm gonna say. Way too touristy. I don't know if maybe I'm spoiled and I'm accustomed to being on a resort, and the amount of moving traffic is minimal, or if like I'm from New York, so Times Square is like one of the busiest intersections in the world, and yet, well, outside of like China, I guess, where they got like bajillions of people. But I don't know. I just was bothered. I don't know if it's like a post-pandemic thing, if it's a must be post-pandemic. I've been in the house so long, and the number of people I've spent time with has been so small that all these people had me going, I gotta get back inside. So anyway, and that being said, yeah, I walked around with my damn mask on, vaccinated and all. You know why? Because I ain't trying to catch a variant strain. And even though they say might not kill you, I'm not trying to be that test dummy. I ain't trying to be a guinea pig. I'm not trying to catch it and see what happens. I know way too many who have caught it. God bless, some have survived, and then some have not. So yeah, there we go with that. But anyway, I still would go back to Savannah in a heartbeat. The beach was wonderful. Hey, Jason. The beach was wonderful. I had a great time with my sister. We're already planning another sister trip for her birthday in December, so stay tuned. But yeah, I'm actually drawing a blank. What did I talk about last week? I don't even remember what I talked about last week. I think, was it like seven something? I don't know. But if you were here last week, or if you caught the show from last week, I hope you learned a thing or two. That would be great. Thank you, Lawrence. You know, black lipstick is one of my favorites. As a matter of fact, it's funny because I remember growing up in the super suburbs, and you only wore black lipstick if you were like a stoner or I can't think of any what those other terms were, but like regular people didn't wear black lipstick. Me, on the other hand, I'd wear black lipstick every day of the week because I just totally dig it. Thank you, Jason. See, this is why I appreciate you, Jason. Yes, we did fetishes. Ah, you know what, Jason? Thank you very much for that. We did fetishes. And let me tell you why I just had this aha moment. Because I'm busy. You know, Lorenzo will tell you every week before the start of the show, I run through all my scenes. I run through my video clips. I run through the little commercial breaks. And so I'm going through everything. I'm like, okay, everything is all set. And then I realized my slides from last week's show are in this week's show. And the slides I made for this week's show didn't make it. So you're not going to get to see my slides for this week's show. We're just going to wing it, fellas. And because I know you love me, I know it'll be okay. So, today, today, this is our topic. Seven keys to seduction. So I decided I wanted to talk about this. Um, yeah, I decided I wanted to talk about this because intimacy, as you may know, is an obsession of mine. I think we don't understand what intimacy is. We confuse it with a physical act as opposed to it being a means for connecting with people. And seduction is, in my mind, similar to that in our misunderstanding of it. Seduction is a lot like intimacy in that in our minds, seduction is a physical thing. We seduce you into the bedroom. We seduce you to want to bring us, give us, participate in pleasure with us. And yet it's not like that exactly, right? Like seduction is really more like it's basically akin to foreplay. Seduction is all the things I do in advance of the actual physical experience. Intimacy is probably even more of a physical thing than seduction is. Seduction is much more related to how I get up in that head. It's much more related to how I prepare you for the moment or not. Because just because I go through the dance of seducing you doesn't mean I have to do anything else. I could just literally leave you hanging. Like, so, um, I always do research. Always, always, always. I don't just talk straight off the cuff and bring you bullshit. I'm going to always bring you information that I have sourced. And today's source, um, again, I'm mad at myself because I had slides prepared for this too. But today's source is from this book called The Ultimate Guide to Seduction and Foreplay: Techniques and Strategies for Mind-Blowing Sex. And it's written by two folks I know well, Dr. Jessica O'Reilly and Marla Renee Stewart. See how I just blocked on my light like that? This book sucked up all my light. But yeah, so anyway, this is a really great book. Really, really great book. I haven't even finished it, but I love reading books like this. And so one of their chapters is called What is Foreplay? What is Seduction? And in it, they talk about what they call the 7 statutes of seduction. Rather than you going, statues? Well, what do statues have to do with seduction? First of all, I didn't say statues. I said statues. But to keep it simple for you, I rephrased it as the 7 keys to seduction. Now, some of you are going to be great at this because you're good at getting into people's head. Some of you are going to utterly resist some, if not maybe all of this, because it just requires more of you than you want to give. But let us get started. Our first key to seduction is, and bear with me because I'm actually trying to type these out for you. Build anticipation. Build anticipation. So the book goes on to say the pursuit of pleasure results in a chemical release. Now, I've talked about this before, about how when you have an orgasm, there is a chemical release in the brain. It creates a sense of euphoria. It creates a sense of closeness. And we're talking about a couple of different chemicals. So the pursuit of pleasure also creates this chemical release. It brings you excitement. It has you, kind of like, like you get this urge, this excitement, energy starts popping off. You're like, ooh, goosebumps, hairs, whatever. It's something you physically feel. Anticipation is something you physically feel. It says the excitement of the unknown produces more significant response than the guarantee of the reward itself. And let me tell you something. This is scientifically proven. There are tests where they teach a rat how to push a button to get cheese, and there's a light associated with it. And they know that if they push the button, the light comes on, the cheese pops out. And so they learn to do the button thing to get the light because they know the cheese is coming. And the crazy thing is, they decided, hey, let's not even do the cheese part. Like let's modify this experience. So just the light alone was enough to bring on this excitement because the mice were trained to know that when the light goes off, woo, that thing's gonna happen. So building that anticipation is that same kind of experience. We know that if I'm getting this, if I'm getting you rubbing my back or massaging on my shoulders, I'm now in anticipation of what may come next. I'm not really sure. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a full-on sexual experience. You rubbing my shoulders could lead to, hey, babe, why don't you take off your clothes, lay down and get comfortable. Let me give you a massage. That right there. Oh. Or, let me take just anything that brings you to this level of excitement, that little touch, the little things you say. It says the most memorable and exciting seduction involves cultivating desire over time and employing multitude approaches to remain unpredictable. Some of us, we're in a long-term relationship. We don't do this. We don't see, because when we're dating, we're trying to impress you. We want you to be excited about us. We want you to see the best version of us that we can possibly show you. Then we get you and we no longer court you. We just go to, we together. And you feel like you don't have to do that. You feel like you don't have to bring the excitement to the relationship because you're already there. No, no, no. Excitement in the relationship is what keeps the relationship hot. It's what keeps it going. It's what keeps eyes here and not there. Okay? It says, this is why you do not master seduction by learning a specific technique, but by being open to multiple approaches, including those that may take you outside your comfort zone. Ooh, buddy, that's a real hardcore thing. A lot of you don't want to do something new or different, or that may please your partner because you've never done it, or you don't know how they're going to react, and so you're trying to avoid the rejection. And we're going to come back to rejection, but you don't want to do anything different. Stretch yourself. You would prefer to say, well, I don't do that. I never do that. I've never done that. I was never taught to do that. I firmly believe as long as there is breath in your body, there's nothing you can't do. If you choose to do something new, it's because you choose to do something new. If you decide you don't want to do something new because you've never done that before, you don't know how, that is you saying, fuck it, I don't want to do it. Period. I don't want to do it. I don't want to please you. I don't want to do anything that, is going to cause me to be uncomfortable. Nah, I don't do it. I'm going to challenge you. I need you to come outside, right? I need you to. Anyway, number 2 on our list. And see, I messed this up, but number 2 on our list is be curious. Seduction involves piquing the curiosity of your lover. And one of the best ways to do this is to let them know that you want to know more about them. Conversation, y'all. I talk about this all the time. We need to communicate. You need to be a good listener. Yes, you're going to have to talk, but you're only talking so that you can listen. You're only asking questions so that you can listen and find out, where is my partner located and where are they trying to go? And shoot, can I go along for the ride? Be curious. Want to know more about your partner without judgment. Let me be clear. Learn more about your partner without judgment. Okay? All right. Next up is, and Lord knows, y'all, I ain't gonna never do this again. I so sincerely apologize for not having my slides. Less is more. Seduction is a slow process that you can curate to suit your own needs. So take your time and allow your words, touch, and actions to flow freely. So nowadays, we use the term doing the most. Folks, you doing the most. You doing too much. Seduction doesn't take all of that. I mean, I'm not saying don't go all out, but it doesn't require all of that. Seduction is a slow burn. It's a slow burn. You don't have to be in a rush. You don't have to go over the top and do all these extravagant things, mainly because I want you to do this over and over and over again. I want you to be in seduction mode as often as is possible. And if you do this and it becomes a chore to you, you are less likely to do it frequently, because we all need it. We all do. Those of you who don't want to do the work, don't be mad when you don't get it done in return. Want to feel appreciated and reciprocated. So less is more, but you gotta do something. You gotta do something. All right. I'll be right back. Come with questions. Come with comments. Lorenzo, you always have a comment. Jason, always. Y'all have comments. Come back with a comment for me.
nominated Best Lifestyle in Adult Industry Erotic Writer and Best Lifestyle Adult Educator. Casey Carter. Winners will be announced September 18, 2021.
Hey, I'm back. All right, so today we are talking about 7 keys to seduction. And our topic is based on information from this book, The Ultimate Guide to Seduction and Foreplay by Jess O'Reilly and Marla Stewart. Yeah, I'm playing around with where I hold it because it messes up my light. Oof, you know how I feel about my light. So yes, get this book. I know these people personally. They are not paying me for this. But I loved what I read and thought, oh, I got to share this with my people. And so this is why we're talking about it. This is why we are on to number 4. And number 4 is so Jason, Lorenzo, Lawrence, what do you guys have to say? See, because I'm also very curious about how the guys feel, because you all typically, you do what you do, and it's like you're in and you're out because you don't want to find out that you messed up in any way. So you're in, you're out. Did it work? All right, cool, work, right? So I'm very curious about the guys and how you feel about this information. So our number 4 key to seduction is you are more attractive. You are more attractive. Well, I'm sorry. Be present and mindful. Present and mindful. You're more attractive when you are in the moment and focused on the interaction at hand. Mindful connections and mindful sex are associated with heightened desire, lower performance anxiety, and enhanced sexual response, all of which create the potential for more intense pleasure. All right, so here's my thoughts on this. The idea of being present and mindful. This is true in many places. Now, in this case, we're talking about, in the physical sense, in the moment while you're engaged in physical activity with your partner. Be where they are. Be aware of how they're responding. Even be sensitive to what you're doing so that you don't zone out and you're tweaking your partner's nipple, tweaking until they eventually like flip your hand and you're like, what? Be in the moment. Be aware of everything going around you. But also, when you're at the dinner table and you're having conversation with your partner and they're just talking, and you zone out for a minute, I promise you they noticed. And you come back by asking 100 questions to prove that you were listening. And what happens is the questions are related to every single thing that they just said, which proves to them you weren't really listening. You just heard things and you grabbed them out of the air and thought, let me let me talk and ask questions because that proves I was listening. No, you can tell, your partner can tell you weren't paying attention even though you're asking questions. So try to be in the moment. And if you're not, dude, don't front. Just go on ahead and say, I'm sorry, what did you say? I wasn't paying attention. That might get you in trouble, but I promise you, Pretending that you were listening by asking a bunch of questions will also get you in trouble. So at least the honesty is more tolerated than fronting like, I heard you. And again, it's the same when you have this physical interaction. It is better that you are present and know what's going on and how your partner is feeling. Um, so yeah. And yes, Jason BoobTube was not on last week. Don't worry, we're back. We are totally back. I'm always in the moment. Always in the moment when it comes to sex. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the truth, Jason. The world is stressful. And so it is very easy to zone out. It really, really is, especially because sex is one of those things that you can just go into autopilot and just do, right? Like you can just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And, nobody knows any wiser whether or not you are mentally there and not just physically there. So, yeah, be present and mindful. All right, so number five. Number five. What do you think number five is, Jason? Don't take things personal. The best lovers communicate. I love this. Over and over again. I'm going to always remind you, talk to your partner. Talk. Do not hold back. Don't filter. Don't be rude, but talk to your partner. Have conversation and dialogue. And, don't get so caught up that you then try to pick at them, because that also makes them uncomfortable. And the whole idea is to build this connection and get them to open up and become connected to you. It also gives you the opportunity to hear what turns them on and play into that. So yeah, don't get so caught up in what they say or what they won't say that you're like, oh, it must be me. You don't want to share with me. Don't, just pace yourself. Pace yourself. Because let's just be honest, mystery is very, very, very attractive. It is like bees to honey. When you get a little crumb and you're like, okay, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know. You feel that need to want to get as much information out of them as you can. Don't rush, take your time, and don't take it personal if they don't want to tell you all their business. Jason, you got any suggestions on how to be seductive? I already know that you're mindful during sex, but what kind of advice would you give, Jason? If I made you sexpert for the next 60 seconds, what would you tell the folks? Like, how do you manage to always stay in the moment? What are your secrets to that? Lorenzo, if you're there, what do you do to not take things personal when you're interacting with your partner? Again, I am reading from an expert, but there's nothing like actual experience. Jason says, always ask the person what they like. Yeah. It definitely is helpful to hear what your partner likes. Not to necessarily feed them the answer, but to legitimately ask the open-ended question, what do you like? What turns you on? Do you use toys? What kind of toys do you use? Why do you use those kinds of toys? Have you ever tried these kinds of toys? Do you use them with your partner, or is it only by yourself? Why do you only use them by yourself? Ask questions. Ask questions and know when to pump the brakes. Know when to pump the brakes, because again, this goes back to what I'm saying about don't take things personal. Your partner may feel attacked. If we're talking about these toys that they only use by themselves and you ask, why do you only use them by yourself? They may all of a sudden feel attacked because in the past somebody may have said something to them and then they snap at you. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Just back up off of it. Come back to it later because you already know they have toys. They use their toys by themselves. And that right there is big. That right there is important. So, yeah, Jason, great tip. Thank you for your sexpert advice in that moment. So, I got a little video for y'all. Hold on.
Hey, Miss Casey Carter. I am Duchess Cashmere, the griot erotica, the orgasm orator, and I come to serve the tea. I serve it piping hot and artistically nasty. I'm here to tell the stories and teach the children. I got the tips and the tricks to take your sexual experience to the highest degree of pleasure. So come inside the cashmere room and let the Duchess show you the way.
Hey, love, how are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful, Miss Casey. How are you?
I am wonderful myself. Can I just say I am loving that blue hue? It is working with the mask, the fluffy hair, the printed top. Girl, you are looking scrumptious today.
Well, I came to serve all the tea and I love to serve a look. So, honey, clutch your pearls now and thank me later because today's tea is normalizing non sexy sex talk. Mhm.
Hmm. Here's another one. We need a notepad for this. All right, here we go. Go with it.
Come to teach the children. So, what I mean by that is you've got to talk about the sex long before the sexy times start, before you start touching and rubbing and licking and kissing and rubbing and smacking. You've got to establish a set of permissions and boundaries with your play partner.
That is so important. I am so glad that that's what today's tea is. I agree wholeheartedly. Ashmere. We are scheduled for a little bit more tea this weekend, so I'm very excited about what we're gonna bring you next. But hit up my website to hear the rest of my conversation with the Duchess. So we're back and we are talking about 7 keys to seduction. Brought to you by The Ultimate Guide to Seduction and Foreplay by Dr. Jess O'Reilly and Marla Renee Stewart. So let me just real quick. I actually met Dr. Jess because of Marla Stewart. Marla Stewart is the co-creator of Sex Down South here in Atlanta. It is a sex education convention that was originated here for people of color. And you know what? The information was just so good. Everybody shows up. Everybody. It is an extremely diverse, extremely sexual fluid event. And the very first year I went, Dr. Jess, who is internationally known, was one of the speakers. And Lorenzo and I were just we were sitting in a workshop by Jet Setting Jasmine and King Noir. And we were on one side of the room, and Dr. Jess, I can't remember if she was literally right in front of us or if she was off to the side. And, we saw her. And then later, we had left, she had left, and we run into her in the elevator. And, just so happens we were trying to get food. She was trying to get food. We were on the elevator. We go all the way downstairs to this restaurant, and I don't know if they weren't open or whatever. Something happened. And then we just all went back to the bar and became fast friends between the downstairs restaurant, the bar. I mean, it hit it off right away. Dr. Jess is absolutely amazing at what she does. Very motivational, very, very knowledgeable about sex and relationships. And Marla is she's just a love. She is also a world-renowned sex educator, and just absolutely love Marla. Marla and her partner recently had a beautiful baby boy. Shout out to them. And if you don't know Marla Renee Stewart and Dr. Jess O'Reilly, you better ask somebody, because they are like badass when it comes to sex education. So yes, Marla Renee Stewart, Jess O'Reilly, follow. Just Google them. You'll find them. Trust me, you'll find them. And Jason, I don't have the Matt Damon audio. I can't play it. I don't have it. You're going to have to wait for BoobTube to get that. So we're down to our last two keys of seduction. And your number 6 key to seduction, and we talked about it briefly: embrace rejection. Embrace rejection. And I know that's a crazy thing. Whoa, Casey, you talking about I'm supposed to let somebody just reject me? Like, yeah, man. I'm not saying, put up a sign that says reject me. I'm here for it. What I'm saying is, when it happens, take it. It's like, to put it in perspective, we have electricity, we have automobiles, we have rockets that go up into space because somebody tried and tried and tried. None of those things worked the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the 100th time. They didn't work right away. They had to take that L. They had to take the failure, bring it back into the lab, tinker around with it some more, and try it again. So rejection is kind of along those same vein. You have to, okay, shit, that happened. Like, you got to just go, all right, that happened. And think, all right, what do we do now? Where are we going with this? What next? How do I tinker? How do I reset? How do I adjust my levels and get back out there and do it again? So, you have to expand your comfort zone, take a risk. Remember, I talked about the comfort zone thing earlier. Get out of your comfort zone. The thing that I love about getting out of my comfort zone, and I have this phrase that I use, and I say, I have become comfortable being uncomfortable. Why? Because we get in our little comfort zone, we feel protected, we feel safe, and we don't ever want to come out of it because we know what's going to happen in this space. Problem is, nothing new ever happens in this space. It limits your curiosity. Because remember, I did say, I believe it was our number 2 point, be curious. So if you do not learn to embrace rejection by getting outside of your comfort zone and letting shit fall, letting it happen, you're going to miss opportunities. You're going to miss the chance to expand your horizons and learn something new and experience something different. Learn to manage rejection. Learning to manage rejection makes for more fulfilling relationships than trying to avoid it altogether. And let me tell you, I'm not, maybe not necessarily the one for avoiding specific rejection, but I go out of my way to avoid an argument. And it's not good because what it means is I'm avoiding communicating my feelings. That's a bad thing. Very bad thing. Jason says he just got approved for a swingers club called The Body Shop. First time at a swingers club. Got any advice, Casey? Yeah, man. Take your time. Treat it like any other bar. You know, make sure you know the rules. Make sure you take your time sort of getting the lay of the land, understanding the flow, and just talk to people. Talk to people. And I'm going to tell you what, Jason, you know, first time going to a swingers club, don't even hold that back. Like, don't withhold that information. Say to people, hey, how you doing? My name is Jason. This is actually my first time. Like, you know, what kind of tips would you give me? What should I do first? What should I try first? Tell the people in the building that it's your first time. They are like the interesting thing about a swingers club, people are super friendly. They will come around talking to you like you've known them for years. So don't feel like you have to hide the fact that you're new, the fact that you don't know what's going on and what to do. Go right on up ahead to the bar. And whoever's on your right, whoever's on your left, hey, how you doing? I'm Jason. It's my first time. You come here often? How was your first time? Like, Jason, go on ahead, ask questions right there on the spot. And this is good practice, you know, in terms of what we're learning about the art of seduction. You're just engaging in conversation. You're going to take your time. If someone looks at you funny, Jason, be like, okay. And then just turn to the other side and say, hey, how you doing? My name is Jason. I just got rejected over here. What should I do about that? Go with it. Go with it. I promise you, even if you don't hook up with anybody, you'll probably make some friends. And that's a good night to me, Jason. That's a good start. Just keep on going back. Anyway, embrace rejection. If you only do things that are immediately comfortable, you are less likely to grow and experience fulfillment. And that's what I said. Whereas if you learn to manage rejection, you are more likely to take risk and expand your comfort zone. See what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, Jason, when you're at the swingers club and if you have a moment where like you feel antsy and your brain is like, we gotta go. Don't do it. Hold on. The longer you stay, the feeling will subside. Just hold on. And our last tip. And Jason, this is good for you and your trip to the swingers club. Keep an open mind. This is for you, Jason. You're new to this experience. You really don't know what to expect, but somewhere in your mind, you do have a level of expectation. Just go with it. If it's nothing like you thought it was, now you know what it is. If it's everything you thought it was, even better. You know, but go in willing to watch what you think of the experience change. Because I promise you, you already have your perception of what it is. And you may see that it changes. But according to our text for today, part of being adept at seduction also involves learning to be seduced. So the way you respond to their flirtatious, playful, and seductive advances is as important as how you initiate. So the reason why I chose that specific line is because we oftentimes build ourselves up as this giver. And we give. We have what we do these things because we want to please our partner. Sometimes pleasing our partner means being a receiver and not a giver. And you're going to have to open your mind to that, because if you're constantly a giver, being put in the receiver mode is very difficult. It is very, very difficult. Not only do you have to turn off one switch, You got to go out the building, go to the circuit breaker box, flip the switch on receive mode, and then go back inside and let them give to you. And you'd be amazed at how many people struggle to be in the receiver mode. Here's why. It's my personal opinion. But here's why. One reason is you lose a sense of control. And that is very hard for a lot of people to lose us that control. And I'm not saying like you lose control like you go crazy and out of your mind. I mean, you lose control in terms of you know exactly what's going to happen next because you're making that thing happen next. When you don't know the what next, it will fuck with you big time. And it, as I said earlier, be mindful and present, right? So when you start getting in your head about what's gonna happen next, what are they gonna do next, what are we gonna go next, what are they gonna say next, you are no longer in the moment. You're no longer paying attention to what's going on, so you don't get to experience the pleasure. You need to settle yourself down. Settle yourself down. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take a little bit out of you, but settle down. Allow someone to give to you. Allow yourself to receive pleasure. Allow yourself to be seduced. Allow someone to come and whisper in your ear and say something real sexy. Allow that to happen. Allow them to touch you on your shoulder, rub your thighs, take your hand and just rub on your hand and massage your hand. You would be amazed at how many people are uncomfortable by physical touch. And you're thinking to yourself, how is that possible? Because honestly, if you have sex, you're not uncomfortable being close to people. Yeah, but that's not the same. Sex is not the same as intimacy. Intimacy is freaking scary. Scary. You have to make yourself vulnerable. Seduction is in the same vein when you are the receiver. You have to pull down these defenses in order to receive what's being given. And that fucks with people big time. Big time. So I want you to get out of your head and allow yourself to receive. But in order to receive, you've got to keep an open mind. Allow yourself room for the what next. So those are your 7 keys to seduction, people. And I'm going to be in and out of this book all year. In and out. So for you, Jason, I'm going to recap because apparently it's me and you right now, baby. It's all about me and you, Jason. So number 1 was build anticipation. That's our first key. Number 2, be curious. Number 3, less is more. When you hear your partner saying you do the most, that's not a compliment. It just needs a little bit, baby. Just give it a little bit. Just a little bit. Little go a long way. Number 4, be present and mindful. Number 5, don't take things personal. When they decide that they don't want to tell you anymore, don't want to share their toys, none of that. Don't get your panties up in a bunch. Don't get your shorts up in a wad. Just, okay, all right. And thank them for sharing what they did share so that you can circle back later. Number 6, embrace rejection. Again, this is not where we're allowing people to walk all over you like you ain't shit. It's allowing yourself to embrace the failure of a moment so that you can pick it apart, reconstruct it, and try again. So, embrace rejection. And number 7, keep an open mind. Jason says he's always curious. Excellent, Jason. Now, being an always curious person, make sure you learn to temper that. Have patience. Don't be too aggressive. Remember, I said less is more. Be mindful. Be present. But definitely let that curiosity lead you around. And when possible, bring your partner along for that curious adventure. I mean, you may start the conversation by asking your partner, What are they into? What's your favorite sex toy and why? But then get your partner to say, well, can I see the toy? And don't try to get them to use the toy in the moment. Just say, hey, can I see the toy? Can you show me how it works? What do these buttons do? And why do you like it? And why this particular toy? Did you get it in this color for a particular reason? Just simple questions. Simple questions. And what it does is it shows your partner that you are actually interested in them. So yeah. Yeah. 7 keys to seduction, y'all. Get into it. Get into it. All right. These are our last promos for the night. I'll be right back.
I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need, tell them giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need, tell them giddy up.
Okay. So I had a promo that I couldn't find. I'm so mad. Hold on 1 second. Wait. Don't go anywhere, Jason. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Because I'm going to find this sucker. I ain't put all this energy into doing this to not find it. So here we go. Okay, listen. Whew. And that still isn't even the right one. I don't know what the deal is with me. I don't know if my head is still in Savannah. That's not even the right clip, but I'll be damned if I wasn't going to run the clip. So, as Jason already knows, I'm going to be at Exotica this year, starting with Chicago in July 16th through 18th. Come check us out at the convention center. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the convention center. But it's down the road from the airport, across from an Embassy Suites. And I'm just here to tell you, y'all been cooped up in the house for a year and a half. You know you're dying to get out. You are dying to get out. So come on, meet us up in Chicago. And then in September, I already ran that clip. We're going to be at ASN Lifestyle Magazine Award Show, where your girl was nominated. Woo, woo. You better be voting. Jason, I know you're voting, because if you're not, I'm coming for you. You got 1 more month, Jason. Vote every single day for that last month of July. But I am nominated for 2 awards. I will be a presenter in the award show. I will also be doing my favorite pervertibles class. It's gonna be all of that, y'all. All of that. And then that was October, right back at Exotica again in New Jersey, Edison, New Jersey, y'all. Be at Exotica again. The promo had the dates. I don't remember off the top of my head. And then in DC, in December, first weekend of December, Exotica is at it again. Not making it to the Miami weekend, which is the same weekend I'm going to the award show. But hey, if you're in the Miami area, first of all, prayers to Surfside. That's some scary stuff right there. And but yeah, if you're in the Miami area, September 17 through 19, check out Exotica. Thank you, Lorenzo. Exotica in New Jersey starts October 22nd. And yeah, and Jersey is the big one. That's the big one. That's the mother load right there. So if you don't make Chicago, Miami, or DC, you gotta come to Jersey. That's the big one. So, but anyway, I want to thank you all once again for joining me on Casey at Night and talking about 7 Keys to Seduction, presented by The Ultimate Guide to The Ultimate Guide to Seduction and Foreplay, written by Dr. Jess O'Reilly and Marla Renee Stewart. And yeah, y'all, I'm going to be back on the air 10 o'clock with BooTube and my co-hosts, Platinum Pussy and Desirable Bottom. Come check us out on YouTube and Periscope/Twitter. 10 o'clock on Exotica TV. In the meantime, I'll see you next week. Bye.